episode of Play Unplugged TV. I'm your host Enrico Nardini for PlayUnplugged.com, and today we're going to be traveling boldly where some have gone before. I'm sure there are some of you are familiar with the game Settlers of Catan, very popular Euro game. Well, this is the Star Trek version, and of course Play Unplugged's many multiple year mission is to explore and unbox the insides of these games. So this is a version of Settlers of Catan that's set in the final frontier, shall we say. And it has a ton, it looks like you're going to be getting a ton of stuff in here. Very, very cool looking. I am a Star Trek fan, actually. And this is neat. It's an original cast. Now, I grew up personally with Next Gen, but I've gone back and checked out the original series episodes also, and I'm a fan of the movies and whatnot, and so it'll be cool to check out what's inside this box. I'm going to crack it open really quick to do an overview, and then we'll look at the other parts close up. The board looks very familiar to those of you who are... Settlers of Catan is a juggernaut board game, very popular. If you go to a convention like Origins or Gen Con, there are entire sections just devoted to this game, and you'll see like giant modeled setups of it and things like that. It's very popular. So opening up the box, we've got an almanac, a Star Trek almanac. Interesting. Detailed explanation of the game rules and examples. We've got a game overview. It's like a separate two rule books, let's say. We've got a bunch of cardboard markers. Looks like this forms the outside of the board here. And we've got some dice with also kind of cool. They match like that. They almost have to think they have a starfield on. They kind of match the space theme. Oh my gosh, we've got tons of little stands, and hidden in here is this Klingon battlecruiser. That's a cool thing. We've got a bunch of like Enterprise class looking starships and we got some star bases over here, and then some baggies for all the components and some cards. So we'll bring it around, take a look up close, and see what these look like. Okay, so inside you can see here is like I said, these are the parts that will make up the board if I punch one of these out. And they're nice, they're durable cardboard, and these will fit in the box here. I kind of like the way the box is set up, you can see. And then the inside, the tiles that go on the inner one, like this planet one, they fit in here, which is pretty nice. There's kind of a spot for everything in here because we can fit in any of these. We can fit some of these ship tokens or starship tokens. There's spots in here, spot under here, and so there's a lot of room for that other stuff. So looking here, we've got just more of the different cards and tokens you need to play the game. Now the resources are going to be different here. It's not going to be wood, it's not going to be wood and sheep and all that. So we'll have to take a look at how that differs. Taking a quick look inside the components, we've got some cool little starships, different colored starships. They all pretty much look like the Enterprise. And there was a lot more ship variation than that in the Federation, but that's all right for this game's purposes. It definitely gets the license across. And so let's take a look at these star bases, and this is like a little two-part thing. So it'll be interesting to see how what rules when we review this. It'll be interesting what rules have actually changed to make it more Star Trek-like, if any of it all, or if this is just a game of Catan with Star Trek trappings. These fit together nicely. There you go. There's your little star base. Okay. And then in here we've got all the stands, but more importantly, we've got the Klingon battlecruiser. Now, one thing, there are some variations. I think at least one variation of Catan that has combat involved, but that's not usually. Combat's usually very de-emphasized in Euro games like Catan, and so it's interesting to see this little Klingon bird of prey. But man, it is cool. It's really cool. All right. So So there we go. And then lastly, aside from the other things we showed off, there are some cards here. Actually, I don't need my knife. This has a little thing, a little tab. Peel them apart. Oh! Lost them. So let's see. Oxygen, food. These look like the resources. Water, all necessary. Here's some cards. Starfleet intervenes. A research station. Warp 9. So these are all like the different cards. And I'm sure they'll function similarly to how cards function in a regular game of Settlers of Catan. But once again, dressed up in the Star Trek trappings. So one thing I will say is the game's probably solid, because really, if it is just Star Trek, just Catan with Star Trek trappings, it'll probably be pretty solid. But it would be, my hope is that this will have some rules changes to make it more mimic Star Trek. So we've got some characters here. That's something that's definitely not in the original Settlers of Catan. James T. Kirk, Spock, Leonard McCoy, Uhura, Montgomery Scott, Pavel Chekhov, Sulu, Nurse Chapel. Awesome. Sarek. Oh, that's interesting. So a lot of really cool. It's cool to have all those characters. Some dilithium, a special one, and how do you say this? Tritium, I think. And then more oxygen, all that. Very cool. So there you go. Contents of the Star Trek Settlers of Catan. Well, folks, that was Play Unplugged's unboxing of Star Trek Catan. For more news, reviews, and hobby tips, and also more great unboxings, make sure you check out playunplugged.com. Also, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Comment below. Thanks for watching.